Good morning. It is Tuesday, April 9th. I had a good night's sleep after getting in late. I hope everybody was not blinded by the eclipse yesterday. There's a whole bunch of reports of people who have eye strain today who bought glasses off of Amazon. Maybe Temu. Where are we on the Qs? We're up today. I mean, I've said it before. Tomorrow with CPI is the big thing. That's it. We'll go over the biggest movers. We'll go over a bunch of DXYZ. Some of the big ones, some questions, some of the stuff. Tons of scans today. So buckle up, hop in. Let's go for a ride. Here we go. This is just. I mean, are you going to hit 429, 430? I don't know. You might. Are we just going to hover around 440? Maybe. I mean, tomorrow's CPI number is definitely going to move the markets. We just don't have a lot of catalysts right now. You're out of earnings season. There's not a ton of news that's going on. So you really have nothing. And what have you done? You've traded sideways here. I mean, here from the 448 down to the 440, that's not huge. But your MACD's getting ready to coil up again. Your RSI sitting in no man's land. It is what it is. That's essentially it. I mean, I can't tell you whether the market's going to go up or down because we're just having this sideways action. I can tell you that over a long term, if you look at a weekly chart of the Qs, we still have confirmation. We're starting to turn a little bit. But if you get down to that 50-day like we talked about, that's a 12% move. I don't think you're going down there. The economy is just too strong. The RSI is sitting at 66. You're seeing a MACD cross under that's happening right now. So long term looks a little extended. Short term, I would say we're just trading sideways. That's a hard market to trade in. That's a hard one to buy ETFs in. That's a hard one to say, yeah, I'm going long on this one. So what do? You stay patient. For any of your long-term stuff, you stay patient. This isn't something that you need to do today. If the market goes up 10% tomorrow, I can guarantee you at some point in time in the near future, it'll pull back 5%. If the market goes up 2% tomorrow, at some point in time, it'll pull back to 1%. So you just wait. Just wait. There's no reason to rush into this stuff. There are certain sectors that are doing well. We talked about energy. Real estate. Is that one coming back? We've talked about two things in this market. There's GLP-1 and there's AI. So there's places where you can put your money to work. But as far as buying and holding right now, there's certain ones that you want to, other ones you may want to stay away from. Tomorrow is going to be a key day, so nothing to rush into. Now, there's this crazy stock. I think it's a meme stock. It's been getting a lot of crazy stuff. Right now, I think it's down 20%. DXYZ. It is not a stock. It is not an ETF. It's a closed-end fund that holds a portfolio of 100 private company. This one's getting a ton of press. Not really press, but just rumors on the internet and stuff like that. Oh my God, they're invested in SpaceX. Yes, SpaceX is its largest holding. Now DXYZ. When you go and you take a look at a chart on this one, it looks crazy. And even the 65-minute algorithm, 4-hour, you can't trade this on a 4-hour. When you look at a 5-minute on this one, it just debuted way back here, I think April 4th, sometime last week, and it was trading around 34. It got up yesterday to, 105. Now it's rejected off. The first 5 minutes of today, that's an 18% candle. 18%, 18.93%. This is crazy. This is a trade. This isn't something you want to get into with, oh my God, this is going to run away. They've got an interest in SpaceX. No, it's not something that you want to do like that. Here on the 65-minute, you can see it got you in at 42. It got you in at 25. Made you a nice, 25% right there? Made you a nice 50%. The 65-minute algo makes you 295%. Okay? If you bought and held this, if you just bought this at the IPO, you made 884%. Here's the thing. The 65-minute protects you from this 18% downturn that you're seeing because you're in at 42. So if it is going higher, it's protecting you a little. Right now it's at 80. Remember, when I just started looking this, it was at 70. This thing is moving crazy. It is overextended, but if you're going to trade in this one, I would read the Seeking Alpha article. This one puts it in perspective. It tells you everything that you need to know about this stock. It is not an ETF. It does own 100 names. It's a closed-end fund, so they're not issuing more shares. It's not something that's going to dilute you. It is something that if you wanted exposure to something, you could buy it. But just understand, it is most likely extended and most likely expensive. But if you want to look at this one, it is one that you could look up more details on it. Right here is the only thing that I really found about it. But you can go out on the internet. You don't want to know why I like Seeking Alpha? Because I can trust it. The crap you find on the internet, I don't trust. This is an analysis by a Seeking Alpha writer. And it goes through an editorial process. And it's very good. That's why I like Seeking Alpha. So if you want Seeking Alpha and you want to read this stuff, use my second link here. Get Seeking Alpha Premium for $50 off. You save 20% off your membership. It's $189 for the first year. It includes a 7-day trial, 7-day free trial. So if you wanted to read something about this, then just go and sign up. And again, most of Seeking Alpha is free. So you can read it. I don't think that this one is free. But again, if you're interested in this one, you can do this. You know, we've talked about DJT. We've talked about other stuff. This is why I like Seeking Alpha, is because I can find a ton of things. I don't have to go searching. I can just go to Seeking Alpha and do it. That's what came up in our Facebook group yesterday when Brandon basically wrote, how I never saw this, but DXYZ listed on 3/26/2024, and 35% of it is SpaceX. It's up 822% since then. FinViz doesn't have any info on it, but I'm getting FOMO. Wish I had heard about it sooner. Well, maybe you would have heard about it in, Seeking Alpha, because they had this article, what was it, 2 days ago? 2 days ago, this guy wrote an article on April 7th. And had you read it, about SpaceX and stuff, you would have been in at 65, somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 70. And it's at 88 right now. Remember, it was just at 80. It's moving quick. So get a plan together if you want this. Put it in, understand the valuation of this, but it is hype. It is 100% hype. Like Brandon said, he's getting FOMO. So understand, if you're going to put money into it, just read this article. You could trade it, but it's super, super volatile. Biggest movers of the day. A Chinese video game company, NetEase, 4%. The company was nearing a renewal of its partnership with Blizzard, allowing beloved games as World of Warcraft to return to China. BlackBerry rose 5%. Following announcement of a new partnership with AMD, a chipmaker, the collaboration aims to enhance performance, accuracy, and reliability. Biggest losers, Maxon Solar Technologies. Solar's still having a tough time. Harmonix plunged 9%. And Tilray, for all you potheads and edible folks like me, 14%. The cannabis company revised down its full year forecast of EBITDA outlook to 60 to 63 million from its previous guidance of 68 to 78 million. Moreover, the company no longer expects to generate positive adjusted free cash flow for full year due to delayed timing for collecting cash on various asset sales. So Tilray, I've said it before, I don't think pot is a very good investment right now. I think this one is a tough sell for me. And the reason it's a tough sell is if you're a pothead, where are you buying your pot? Legally or illegally? You're probably buying it illegally. And the thing is, even when Biden and the administration start making this legal, it's not like you're going to change your habits. It's not like you want to pay 25% in taxes. So that's why I think it's kind of a hold. Pfizer. This is one that I took out of the core portfolio. People are saying it's reached a bottom here. They have an RSV shot for high-risk adults. RSV is respiratory disease. It affects mainly babies and older folks. Pfizer, the valuation of it is not crazy anymore. The future of it is crazy. I just don't know what to make of this. This was a pandemic special. I think the CEO lied to the American people by saying that, at first, well, the vaccine, the COVID vaccine is going to prevent the disease. It didn't. It lessened the disease. I'm not arguing that it wasn't a good thing. I'm not an anti-vaxxer whatsoever, but I think the behavior of these vaccine CEOs was what was shameful, because they knew damn well that it was more of a flu type of vaccine than it was a preventative like a measles. So that's where I kind of got into it. I sold up here at around $46. I held this for years and years. Right now, it just doesn't make sense for me to buy it. That's a weekly chart of it. If you wanted to take a chance and you don't mind that, they've had some stuff, go and buy this one. Some of the defense companies, RTX, General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, some of them are down today. And the reason, I couldn't find any news about it, but one of the things that was reported on CNBC, and we can look at ITA, which is the aerospace and ETF. But one of the things was that I guess there was a downgrade of European defense stocks overall, because Europe won't be spending as much money as they did on Ukraine last year, blah, blah, blah. So this one kind of, the Americans are just down in kind of commisery, whatever you want to call it. Copper climbs to a new 15-month high, and Freeport-McMoRan is up. FCX. This is a materials company. They're a miner. It's a good company to have in your portfolio if you don't have any material space. It has run incredibly. I mean, it has just run incredibly. Look at this one. I mean, the 4-hour algorithm in Trendspider makes you 10% versus buying and holding makes you 3.5%. This is not at an all-time high. It is getting there. Let's see. The all-time high back here was 51.78 back in 2022. You're trading at 51.53 right now. If we go and look at a monthly on this one, you can see, all-time highs are way back here at 57.58. So this isn't a crazy stock to actually look at, maybe getting into. I'm not a big fan of this one. It's traded a little bit well of recent, but it's a materials company. If we want to look at Freeport-McMoRan here in the quant, it's ranked 5 out of 7 in their industry, which is I think it's mining or something. Yeah, materials. 5 out of 7 in their industry, and industry is copper. The number 1 is Tasco Mines, TGB, Luden Mining. Again, these have significantly smaller. Look, $71 billion market cap in FCX. Southern Copper has $86 billion, but you're getting into $9 billion and $710 million. So you're getting into smaller ones there. But that's an interesting one if you want to read that one. Trendspider, this Bollinger Band long strategy on QQQ. It's a daily. Just took another entry on Friday. Enters when the low of the day is within 0.5% of the lower Bollinger Band, and exits plus 10% or minus 5%. It's got a 47% win rate over the last 20 years with average return of 1.95 per position. So interesting. It happened on last Thursday, I guess. Bollinger Band just on Friday. So take a look at that one. That one's an interesting one. Let's look at DELL, because I wanted to look at DELL because DELL took a dip yesterday. It took a 5% dip, something like that. What I wanted to, I'm in at 112. Am I scared of this one? No. I got in right when, after the earnings and the algorithm said get in. I think it was 112 when I got in. MACD kind of, just came up, crossed over, crossed under. The algorithm didn't get you out. Might get you out soon. But the RSI's in no man's land. Am I worried about it coming back down to this level at 104? A little bit. Not, I'll buy more. I didn't buy a ton of this. I bought a little bit. Target price 128. You're trading at 126 right now. The 52-week high, 136. This was just reached last week. So you're only 6% below your 52-week high. Most recent, March 1st, TD Cowen moved their price target to 105. Before that, February 28th, the price target was 125. So those are the only two that are over 100. I personally, when you look at how much Michael Dell sold, we're talking $1 billion, $2 billion worth of stock, and the stock held up. He was selling at 106, 105. He sold over 100. I don't know if he knows more. An interesting article came up, the first one on FinViz. Could Dell Technologies stock make you a millionaire? Spoiler, it doesn't, but it does make you some pretty damn good money since 2018. So Dell, I thought that was an interesting one. Micron. Amid yesterday's news that Taiwan Semiconductor will receive grants from the CHIPS Act, Citi believes that Micron may get a slice of the proverbial pie. Intel has already been granted $8.5 billion in cash. There is roughly $22 billion left in the cash to distribute with the CHIPS Act. Buy-rated Micron to receive a significant $5 billion as well. Maybe that could happen. Micron has run incredibly. If we look at the chart of Micron, since their earnings pop provided them a nice one. This just got back. If we look at a monthly, it just got back to where it was in like 2000 or something. Let's see. Yeah. With this pop back in 2000, it's just gotten back there. So it broke through its support level at 95. It's now at 124. It's taking off. It's an interesting one. If they get some money from the chip sector, this one could pop. You had a algorithm buy here at 85, which you're sitting nicely on right before earnings in February 22nd. Again, the 4-hour algorithm provides you opportunities like that. It's a great opportunity to get into Micron if you think that they're going to get it. Read that article. Google unveils in-house Axion chips to cut AI costs and reliance on NVIDIA's and others. Now, what does this mean? Still means they're probably going to have to use SMCI with the rigs to put together the data centers. So does SMCI provide a bump for this one? NVIDIA, it probably didn't do well for NVIDIA. Let's look at NVIDIA right now. NVIDIA is down 0.59. SMCI is down 1%. I still think that these particular ones are sliding just because they've extended their run. I do think that probably NVIDIA comes down to this 840. I have not added more of NVIDIA. I did add more SMCI. And I added SMCI, I think, at 1,050. So I'm in the negative on that one. Interesting that Google would unveil their latest chip. I thought it was interesting. They were relying on Broadcom. I own Broadcom. I own AVGO. I bought a bunch of that on the earnings. I'm down on this one, I think, a little bit. Not much. It's up 0.62% today. Broadcom is in the quant. It is a hold, and it's based on valuation. And when we go and look at valuation, the big thing is gap, this forward gap. They're trading at 1.89. Sector median is 1.94. Not horrible. That's the one that Steve likes. It's ranked 11 out of 65 in the semiconductor stock. Number 1 is Taiwan Semi. Number 4 is AMD. Number 8 is NVIDIA. So you can look at these stocks, try and find your semiconductor stocks. I do think that it's an interesting one. But let's talk about Apple. Apple's China problems are a black cloud, the worst in 5 years. This is Wedbush. This is an interesting. Dan Ives wrote this one. Ives has an outperform rating and a $250 price target. He has been the first one to say that it's not getting to $250 anytime soon. But his $250 price target is most likely sometime later this year. He thinks that the AI, the WWDC, and other iPhone improvements will create a new cycle for the iPhone. You just had that death cross, and ever since that death cross happened on March 1st, nothing has gone right for Apple. The algorithm has you out right now. It doesn't have you in. It's been getting you in and out. Still, over the last 2 years, the algorithm makes you 19.6%. Buying and holding loses you 1.5%. There's 31 positions over 24 months. Your average win is 9.9. You have not won it recently in this one. You have lost, I think for the last 9 is what I count. 1, 2, let's see. You gained on that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for the last 8, you've lost. There's got to be a winner in here somewhere. At some point in time, this one turns around. It's the valuation on Apple that's killing it. And you can see, I mean, we still have room to go down. You still have room to go down to that 152 for 200-day support on the weekly. The MACD, nowhere near crossing up, nowhere near making a move. It's just kind of moving down, and the strike is moving down. But when you buy under the MACD, when it finally crosses that oscillator and you buy it under MACD, the majority of time you've been rewarded on the weekly, so it hasn't been this low. Look at this one back in 2019. That one made a move all the way from 40 up to 50. And again, in my mind, I think you're looking at this stock as a safety stock. So you can take a look at these, look at the chart. It's an interesting one. I am long Apple. I do believe that Apple is fine long term. Apple's ratings in the quant, it's a hold. And we can take a look at some of the details why. I think it's more valuation than anything. Remember, this is a company that has not grown their revenue for the past 4 or 5 quarters, somewhere in that neighborhood. But they buy so much stock back that you basically earnings per share goes up. Look at the gap. I mean, the forward gap, they're trading at 2.73. The sector median is 1.94. This is ranked 11 out of 27. In the technology hardware. You know what number 1 is? Supermicro. You know what number 2 is? Dell. I own both. So I own a good amount of technology hardware that has been working. So you want to present your portfolio a little bit like that, where you don't have too much exposure. I have way too much exposure to Apple. It's hurting me this year, but in long term, am I worried about it? No. Social request, Trenton, open. This is Open Door. I believe this is a stock where they will buy. It's the Carvana for homes, and I put my home into this. They're offering me money, and I may take it. To be honest with you, it's not a bad option. I like this one, Open Door. I like the concept, similar to Carvana. I don't like the business. Now this one came about with a SPAC from Chamath, and I think he's out. I mean, he's the top grifter of anybody that's out there. You haven't heard from the guy since he got all of his SPACs, got out of all his SPACs. Open Door's valuation is crazy. Actually, the valuation is an A+. Let's see why it's an A+. Because they don't release shit. That's what happens when you come about with a SPAC. You just don't release crap. But it's 12 out of 21. I wouldn't put my money into this. I mean, into none of these, to be honest with you, right now. Real estate services, I tell you what I'd like rather than Open Door, just buy Berkshire. Trenton, just buy Berkshire. I mean, that's a better real estate play than Open Door. If you want to trade Open, go ahead and trade it. But don't invest in it. IBRX. What the hell is IBRX? Should be Immunity Bio. I know nothing about this. Let's just take a look. IBRX. Is this, let's see, Immunity Bio in the quant, it's a hold, valuation is D. I mean, it's healthcare. This is a biotech stock. So I would trade it. I wouldn't buy it. It's ranked 106 out of 506. What's number 1? CRDF, Cardiff Oncology. Look at all of these that are ranked so much higher than IBRX. You can trade IBRX. Go ahead and trade it. I mean, it's not a bad trade. Algorithm makes you 5.8%. You make 16% over 24 months, 33 positions. So trade it on the 4-hour algo, and at least you're staying positive. That's the safety score. Nick Davis, hey, I hope the weekend treated you well. Palantir makes and saves companies millions of dollars and has recently partnered with Oracle. The internet's view is pretty polarizing on this stock. I would say it's very likely in 4 years' time it will be worth a lot. What are your thoughts as we head into earnings in early May? It's expensive, but good things usually are. It's down 20% from its recent highs, which provides some support. S&P inclusion next quarter, or you reckon third or fourth quarter? They qualified for S&P inclusion, I think, last quarter. they weren't picked. And I don't know why they weren't picked. Ironically, it's got a buy here at 23 in the algo. Now, the algorithm makes you 16%. Buying and holding makes you 79%. So if you want the safety of the 4-hour algorithm, go ahead and buy it. The valuation is crazy. When we go over here and we look at Palantir in Seeking Alpha, we can see that it's a hold across the board. The problem is the value. It's kind of like you said. It's the valuation. Now, Steve from Seeking Alpha would say, rip roaring on their forward guidance, 1.49 versus 1.94 in the sector. I think Palantir, I think it's a $30 stock. Honest to God, I think it's a $30 stock. I think you get back up here to 28 at least. I think you're climbing. You don't have a 200-day yet, but you have this 50-day that's moving positive. Yes, you have a MACD that's crossing down. Yes, you have an RSI at 58. I think it's a $30 stock. I think it gets back to 30 at some point in time. I think their CEO is great. I think he's a very intelligent individual. I think he markets the company very well. You'd have to be worried that he may step down. Honest to God, I own this one, and I own it at a much lower price. I'm sitting there on it. I'm not necessarily trading it, but I am going to add to it because I do believe in it. Now, you do see some downgrades here, the most recent ones in February and March, with a $20 and $22 price target. The average price target is $20. That's way down from where we are today. And it's based on the forward PE and the PE just being too high. And that's it. Their income, $209 million. Sales, $2.23 billion. I mean, they're making enough in sales so that if they continue to increase the sales with their margins, they should be fine. And so I think this one, Alex Karp, I think he sold a bunch. Peter Thiel is the one who sold the shit ton of stuff here on March 12th. And he sold it $24.79. I mean, in my mind, I think Peter Thiel was just looking to get some money out of this. It is expensive. I don't think he's saying it's overly expensive for the long term, but I think in the short term, it's a little out there. So I don't think you have any problem in investing in Palantir at 23 long term. If you're looking in the next week or two, does it go down to 20? Probably. I mean, maybe. Who knows? You could go to 21. DEX, FRGE, Nancy Pelosi play. FRGE. This is Forge Holdings. I didn't know that Nancy Pelosi bought this one. But in Trendspider, you could look it up if you wanted to. You can look at politician stuff. There's a option here that you can. I just don't know how to do it, and I don't have it set. But FRGE, algorithm loses you 54%. You lose 89% in this one. Listen, if you're going to follow Nancy Pelosi into trades, you're going to lose money at some point in time. The quant has it performing really badly. It's an absolute sell. Forge has characteristics that have been historically associated with poor stock performance. The company has 3M price performance of less than 50%. It's just it's a bad stock. No, I wouldn't put money into it. Go ahead. If you want to follow Nancy Pelosi into trades, you can do it. I just, there's no need to follow Nancy Pelosi into everything. Nancy Pelosi's down on her video calls. If you want to follow her into everything, then follow her into everything. But I don't think she's the reason you go into stuff. I think there's got to be a better story, and I just don't see it for that one. Peter, got a stock for you, SFM. What is SFM? This is Sprouts Farmers Market. Ooh, I shop at Sprouts Farmers Market. It's got a great chart, decent growth, seems like a good play with ongoing trend of more clean eating. So my take on Sprouts, I do shop there. It's got a quant of a strong buy. If you want to see this one, valuation is a C minus, but their PEG, they're trading just at the sector median. From a chart standpoint, looks good. Again, it's ranked 3 consumer staples out of 14. Number 1 is Tesco. Then there's Kroger. And this is number 3. I shop there from time to time. I know that they've expanded significantly. and they are in expansion mode, so it's not a bad one. Algorithm has you out. I don't shop there enough to say that, oh my God, I've got to buy this one. It is a strong buy in the quant. I will not pass that one up. Algorithm makes you 17%. Buying and holding makes you 86%. So you've been better off buying and holding this one. It isn't a strong move up. I mean, if you look at that weekly, look at that move. I mean, that's been a solid move. It's kind of Whole Foods to me. It's expensive. Great stores, great produce, great products. In fact, I have their vanilla wafers inside. I love those things. I can't find as good vanilla wafers anywhere else. But you know where I'm shopping? I'm still shopping at Walmart. And Walmart has a cross up. And Walmart in the algorithm makes you 19% versus 15% buying and holding. I'd rather buy Walmart at $59.78. Now, if we look at this, Walmart has not performed as well as Sprouts. But in my mind, I just think that I would rather hold something that I actually use than something that I don't. And so if we look at just Sprouts versus Walmart, and we update this chart, if we look at Walmart over 1 year, you saw the spike. I don't know what the hell that is. Oh, that's the split. That's when they split. It's just messing with the stock that day. But you can see Sprouts outperforms over 1 year. You can see over 3 years, Sprouts outperforms. 5 year, Sprouts outperforms. Is it going to continue to outperform? Could be. But, again, it goes back to kind of, before I hit record, we were talking about Lululemon. And I showed on the screen, if you want to go watch the live, how I buy $38 shorts on Amazon that, in my mind, are as good as Lululemon. They're knockoffs of Lululemon. And they're $38. I looked it up online with Lulu, $88. Which one am I going to buy? I'm going to buy the $38 one. So am I investing in Lulu? No. Am I investing in Sprouts? No, I just don't shop there enough. But I'm not against it because I do use it. So I would steer you towards Walmart. I think that one's a safer play. But, as far as the valuation and everything goes, I mean, again, Sprouts looks good. Let's talk about cross-ups, Palantir. We talked about Palantir. This is a cross-up on the scan, 4-hour algorithm, $23 buy-in. Tesla has a algorithm buy-in. Am I buying this? No. I mean, buy-in at 172. You're up 2% today at 177. Is it turning around? I think you've seen this range. In my mind, if you get above 182, I think maybe you look at buying this one. But right now, we've got a series of lower highs and lower lows. And that 200 days moving down and the 50 days moving down, we haven't turned a corner. So what makes you think that the earnings are going to turn a corner? I will tell you that Cybertruck is incredible. Go ride in a Cybertruck if you can. Not just sit in it, ride in it. It's smoothest truck drive I've ever been in. I mean, this company is just phenomenal. What they don't have is the earnings to justify the valuation. If we go and look at Tesla here in the in the quant, we can see the quant rating of it. It's a hold. And the reason is the valuation is an F. Remember, they didn't meet deliveries. And look at that forward gap. 5.87, sector median 1.5. I mean, again, it's considered a car company right now. It's not considered a technology company. If we were to go and look at a technology company, let's think about a technology company. Let's look at NVIDIA. What is their gap? Their gap is 1.94. What's Tesla? Tesla is a 5.87. So which one do you want to be in? I mean, again, to kind of choose your poison. I would stay away from Tesla. I think it's a good trade if you want to do it on a short-term basis. The algorithm makes you 74% versus 50, losing 50% over a 2-year period. Your average win, 18.89%. You haven't won recently. The past 1, 2, 3 have been losers. So I just wouldn't do it before their earnings, and their earnings are April 23rd. It's worth it just to stay out there. We talked about Walmart having a buy-in. Albemarle has a buy-in. One of the spider sectors, XLRE, this is real estate. Is this one coming back? Again, we've had a sideways kind of trade here for quite a while. You're looking back since January. You've been sideways trading on this one, 38.70. Algorithm makes you 15% in this. Buying and holding loses you 21%. Your average win, 4.88%. You can't beat that in a spider sector. Again, if spider sectors should not be moving like this, the October lows of 33, absolutely a buy. You got all the way up to 40. This one at 38.70, I think you could move back to 40. Simple as that. Your MACD's low, your RSI down at 54. It's not a horrible one. We talked about Lulu. And one of the things that I brought up beforehand, Lulu looks really interesting here, but I would rather wait until it hits 370 than buy it at 358 and have it go down to 340. This is a short term right there at 409. I said that was short term. When I want to look at long term, it's 293. That's where if I'm going to buy Lululemon, I do think it's 293. But that 200-day has provided support before. Could provide support again. But again, am I buying it at 358? I'd rather buy it at 370 on the way up than 358 and see it go back down to 340. That's just my take on things. Applied Materials, Visa, Nike, Microchip, NXPI, NEE, all of them show bullish tendencies. Crypto, most everything on that list, I will include this in the newsletter, but most everything on that list that I have in Trendspider, got to cross out. Just buy crypto. I mean, just buy it. Pick your favorite ETF, BITO. This is the Pro Shares. This is the Bitcoin strategy. And you can see, we don't have enough. I guess the algorithm makes you 16%. Buying and holding makes you 14%. But remember, this traded from a futures contract to an actual spot Bitcoin ETF. Let's see, what is the one that FBTC, which is the Fidelity one. Pick one. Don't pick GBTC. They just have too many fees, and that one's going to kind of suck for a little while. I think, in my mind, I just again, IBIT is a big one. I think that one has the most flows into it. This is the Bitwise IBIT, $40.68. Do your research. Just pick one. Get into it. Get into something. So again, Bitcoin. Okay, let's talk about how to support the podcast. First thing is Trendspider. You saw my 4-hour algorithm, how good it is at getting you in and out. It is now $74.40 per month, $892 for the year. You even get 25%. They were nice enough, 25% if you want to subscribe monthly. But what you do is you go to Linktree, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. The link is down below, just below my head right here. And you'll see it. Go there. You'll see this screen. Click on that top one. Sign up. Once you sign up, email me over here, and I will send you my 4-hour algorithm, 65-minute algorithm, all my custom watch list, which includes Bitcoin, energy, and everything that you want to trade, and my scanners. Every scanner that I use, you will get. So that's the one. We talked about how good Seeking Alpha Premium is with that stock. What is it? DXYZ. We talked about how good it is to just go there, understand that it's a quality publication, and understand that you can trust the publication. Yes, it's opinion, but you can still trust it rather than going to FinViz and siphoning through Zacks and all of that stuff. It's $189. Use my link. You'll get $50 off. Then Alpha Picks. We talked about Alpha Picks all the time. Look at this performance, 130% since July 1st, 2022 versus 37%. If you want to know anything about Alpha Picks, you can go to Alpha Picks. Use my link. It'll save you 50% off. The big thing is, hey, I'm just going to sign up. What's the past performance do well for me? Well, what they tell you is you can try 3 potential strategies. Buy 5 strong buys from Alpha Picks. Buy the entire portfolio. Either one. Or the third option, use Alpha Picks as an idea generation tool. That's what I do. There's a few stocks that I really want to own. I haven't purchased a ton of Alpha Picks, but I do have to. The fourth one is Webull. I have to redo my portfolio in Webull. I am fully cash in that Webull account. So if you want Webull, I love the Webull app. It's the fourth one down here. And then the Daily Stock Pick newsletter, this is 100% free during the week, 100% free. The paid version is just more about, in-depth stuff on how to find stocks, things of that sort. But the free version is a benefit, and it is free during the week. Sign up, dailystockpick.substack.com. Yesterday, I posted everything about the Qs. I posted more about the pod notes. I told you not to look up into the sun like this douche did. And yes, there's a link to a news story that he actually took his glasses off and looked up into the sun, douche. I showed you MicroStrategy, how MicroStrategy makes 693% in the 4-hour algorithm versus buying and holding only makes you 247. It is a levered ETF. MicroStrategy is on Bitcoin. That's all MicroStrategy is. It is down today. It got you out with a 240% gain. It doesn't have you back in. So it kind of saves you from these types. Your average win in MicroStrategy in the algorithm, 45%. This was a 240% gain in MicroStrategy. So if you're trading Bitcoin, this is probably not a bad one to use. Again, the 4-hour algorithm, it works. So if you have any questions, my email is up here. All of the social links are up here. I will talk to you tomorrow. It is CPI day. So let's get ready for some stuff to get started. And there's some earnings as well. The Daily Stock Pick Core Portfolio and Savvy Trader. You can go over here to Savvy Trader and look at the earnings. We've got Delta. Delta is going to be the big one tomorrow. That's going to tell us how the economy is doing. Again, they're expected to raise. Last year, they made 25 cents per share. This year, 35 cents per share. The Delta stock has been going nuts. And people expect it to go. I can tell you, I've been in the airport. The airports haven't been busier. I mean, there's a crazy time. $38 the algorithm got you in. You make 68% on Delta Airlines if you trade it in the algorithm. You make 28% if you just buy and hold. Great. But you never hold an airline. Don't hold an airline. If we want to look at the weekly chart on this one, look. Why would you hold this one? There's no reason to hold it. None. Now, are we getting back to the $60 pre-pandemic price? I don't know. That's a tough ask. For an airline like this, that's a tough ask. But I like it. I like it a lot. So, okay. Take care. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.